Not too long ago, a 19-year-old Harry Dunn was riding around on his motorcycle in England, a Kawasaki. All of a sudden, his life was cut short by a Volvo being driven by the wife of a diplomat, who forgot what side of the road to drive on. She hit him head on and he died. Before the police got a chance to investigate anything, she jumped on an airplane and flew straight back to America, claiming diplomatic immunity. And it's not fair. Harry was doing nothing wrong. He was just riding around on his side of the road and ends up getting killed by somebody who just wasn't paying attention. Now, we've all had it before. Every single rider has had some story where someone pulled into their lane or pulled out in front of them or did something that caused a bit of a danger. Somebody's always held account. Someone gets a ticket or someone's insurance pays up. Harry's family is going to go for the rest of their lives with no justice, no accountability, no one even saying sorry. It's normally diplomatic community is that everyone's on their own reconnaissance, or that diplomats have an agreement that, I am immune from prosecution for breaking any laws, but I won't break the laws. That's why they're diplomats. They're highly paid professionals who do their thing and are accountable in their own countries. And if they work for some tin pot flipping dictatorship, like Libya, for example, yes, I'm thinking about the embassy where Yvonne Fletcher got shot, they get expelled. But there are consequences. There won't be any consequences with this diplomat because she's American. So there's 2 points to this. First point is, why is it that we have all these nice international agreements for it? All right, well, fine, fair enough. Just have her accountable in America. Have the American law say, right, what you did was wrong, reckless driving or negligent driving, whatever the case may well be, and give her commitments on that strength. And the second point is, all right, anyone who's American or from any other country who happen to be driving or going around in places like England, Japan, Australia, New Zealand and a few other countries where they drive on the left side of the road, you need to really seriously think about what you're doing. Don't switch off. So this isn't a political deal. What happened, and it could have been the most innocent of all accidents, but at least say I'm sorry. When I first came to America, I had a very hard time being able to drive on the right side of the road as opposed to the left side. For all my life I've been driving on the left side of the road, on the right side of the car. And it is really strange. But there are ways to survive it, there are ways to get around it. Because even people from England, on a regular basis, they at some point go driving in Europe, or they're driving around in Europe. They make conscious understanding, they have a conscious understanding that England is one of very few countries where they do drive on the left. And no, they can't change it to go onto the right because it would cost an absolute fortune to redo the roads, the road signs, the lights, the markers, everything, and plus train 70, 80 million people on how to drive on another side of the road. But if you are an American and you do happen to be driving around in Australia, New Zealand or England or Japan or something like that, here's a few things that you might find useful. 1, you need some kind of major understanding of what side of the road you're going to be on. You need some kind of reminder, big reminder. Now, it could be anything. Now, one thing that someone suggested is wear your watch on your other wrist. If you wear your watch on the left wrist, put it on your right wrist. It'll feel strange. It'll make you aware that there's something different about your environment. Don't drive in a manual driven car because it just adds to the mix, makes it more complicated. When you're used to driving a stick shift with your right hand, you're going to be doing it with your left hand. Save yourself the aggravation of trying to work out what to do and have an automatic transmission, which I think is not a big problem for Americans, but for, say, Europeans who drive manual cars in England or something, try getting an automatic. It might be more expensive to rent, but if you get an automatic, it's just one less thing to worry about. Have a reminder on your wing mirror as to what side of the road that you're going to be on. Now, this is predominantly for people on motorcycles. If you're in a car, it's easy to understand what side of the road you've got to be on because the rules are the same. The driver sits with his side on the middle of the road. So if you're on the left side of the car, then you're on the right side of the road and vice versa. You know that. Have a constant reminder, a sticker, a nameplate, or some kind of physical reminder as to what side of the road you want to be on. If you're on a motorcycle, or even like say, you know, anything. If you're on a bicycle even, you know, drive around or at least ride within a pack, have somebody in front, follow a flow of traffic. If they know what side they're on and you're following them, then you're going to be okay. Do what they do. Make sure you're in the middle of the pack. That's what we did when Uncle Red came over to America. I was in front, Dawn was behind him, and we made sure he was never out of our sights. There were a couple of times he ventured out on his own, but that was after like a week, over a week of him driving on the left side of the road, getting used to how it works. Now, if you're one of them sort of people who are just kind of vague about, you know, let's not text and drive, you know, you might do it on and off, but you think it's pretty safe. You're like, oh, fair enough, it's never safe, but redouble the entire effort to make sure you don't do anything that distracts you when you're driving on another side of the road. Because don't forget, driving is like walking. After you've ridden or driven for a while, it is like walking. Everything is muscle memory, including what side of the road to be on. If you switch off, the muscle memory will kick in. So no distractions, because otherwise you're going to find yourself on the wrong side of the road in this foreign country and having to rethink about what side you're meant to be on. Like I said, stickers or reminders or something on the dashboard saying you're meant to be on whatever side of the road you're supposed to be on. You know, like I said, when you're in a town, it's okay, because like I said, you're just following the flow of traffic. Don't drive like a maniac. Slow down, even if you're normally a lead foot. Obey the traffic signs. Watch out for red lights, things like that, and stop signs. They are your friend. You can stop and recoup your thoughts, or you can stop and remind yourself how you're doing it. The worst time is in the first, say, week or two of being on the wrong side of the road in another country. You know, if you can get away with not driving in these countries, then don't. You know, there's plenty of taxis or Ubers or the equivalent of that, minicabs and the such. Like I said, I had a hell of a time getting used to driving on the wrong side of the road when I first came to America. Harry didn't need to die. All that woman needed to do was just wake up. But what makes it so bad, as far as I'm concerned, is how she just got out of the country, pissed off straight back to America. To me, that's conscience of guilt. You wouldn't take it, so I'm talking about the Americans now, you wouldn't take it if someone from England did that to someone from America and flew back to England with absolutely no accountability whatsoever. You wouldn't stand for it. Like I said, it may well have been a complete and utter innocent accident of someone who just didn't switch on for 5 minutes, but there has to be some kind of account. A judge has to say, okay, this is how much you're accounted for, regardless of whether it's conditional discharge or like a £5 fine. It don't matter. Stop and say sorry. Seriously? This is somebody who recklessly drove and killed a kid. I mean, his parents are devastated and they're going to get nothing. Like I said, it's not fair. Ain't right. Like, sometimes when a diplomat commits a crime or something like that, they're held accountable in their own countries. And that's part of it, you know. Hey, to establish a relationship between our two countries, that diplomat of ours screwed up in your country, will charge him here. Or they'll strip their diplomatic immunity and send them back to the country. That's happened. Send them back to the country where they committed the crime to face whatever penalty there. I mean, we as motorcyclists, we advise ourselves, or we talk a lot about safety and keeping an eye out and wearing reflective gear, protective gear, and like do all of the things that we can do to make ourselves as safe as we can, and to obviously watch out for bad drivers. But I mean, this is a freak situation that this guy is doing probably that exact thing, and then all of a sudden there's a car heading right for him in front of him. All I can say here is just rest in peace, Harry Dunn. My sympathies go out to your parents. I hope that as of now, people who are in these foreign countries pay more attention. I hope lessons are learned. Well, that's all I've got to say about that. If you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you're new to this channel, hit the subscribe button. It's just down there. There's some more videos hovering around here as well if you want to check them out. Please subscribe. Could use some more. But as always, between now and then, laters.